We don't have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
We do?
Yeah, because they're online.
Because they're online.
Oh,
Mark, can I project here for Susan?
You share the screen and she's watching your shared screen, it'll show up there.
Okay.
I would like to start the committee of the whole meeting for August 17th, 2020. And the first thing that's on the agenda is the approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of July 13th. And I would take a motion for acceptance of those minutes. Liz,
I second it.
second would be Lee. Any discussion?
Are we supposed to be getting a picture?
That should be on your end, Rosemary. On
Okay.
your tablet, it should
I'm
say,
getting,
the video. So in hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the committee of the whole meeting minutes of July 13th, please signify by raising your hand. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Joan, are you counting as well on the screen? All right, motion has carried. I will take an approval of the committee of the whole special meeting minutes of August 3rd. Can I have a motion, please?
so moved.
Thank you, Lee. Can I have a second?
second.
Jane, did you second it? Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the committee of the whole special meeting minutes of August 3rd, please say aye, or raise your hands, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and it looks like this motion has carried. All right, the next thing that's on our agenda is the revised student and staff calendar for 2020-21. And Dr. Grenier, if you could start the conversation, please.
Sure. I'm going to try to share this. So
We can't hear you.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
There you go.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get the website up
I'm good.
Okay.
because Susan is
I
gonna.
can't get it.
Susan, are you able to talk? Because I could talk my way through it.
If you want to use your computer.
I'm
You just start talking. So if Dr. Grenier, if you could just start the conversation, that would be great.
Sure. So I've gone to the website and I'm going to try to share my screen here.
Can't just be on here.
If you want to, Dr. Grenier, while you're getting that up, maybe we could ask Peter to start talking about the next agenda item and then coming back.
I can see him.
I could do it right now. I apologize for the delay.
That's okay.
Okay, so we have a school calendar, which I'm going to try to make a little bit bigger. But what I wanted, I wanted everyone, can you all see the calendar?
I can.
Okay. The big things about the calendar are, so let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Oh, great. Okay. So the calendar, as I think everyone knows, we are going to start with children on the 8th of September. The faculty plans to come in on August. Oh, you know what? I apologize. I had the wrong calendar up. I have the 21, 22. I knew I was off by a day. Oh, here,
2020.
here it is. My grandmother used to have a joke, never go anyplace for the first time. So here we are, right calendar. Now, the teachers will have a convocation on the 27th of August. And then following that, there'll be building level meetings and professional development at 28th, 31st, and then the week of September 1st. So there'll be professional development through September 4th. The children will start on the 8th. During those first 4 days, we normally have 2 days of kindergarten screening, but because of our hybrid and desire to socially distance, we're actually going to have 4 days of kindergarten screening. So you can see on below September, the first day of school is the 8th, and then the 9th, the 8th through the 11th. You want to talk a little bit about TLI days, please, Susan?
So in other words, our first through 12th graders come in on September 8th.
I don't know that our audience can hear you.
We can't.
That's what I thought. So are you muting?
Can you hear me now?
Enough for this.
Loud and
All right.
clear.
All right. So in other words, the first day of school for all first through 12th graders in their cohorts is going to be September 8th. We'll do the screening that week for kindergarten, and then kindergarten and preschool pre-K will start September 14th.
Would you mention about the TLI days, please?
So we had 3 TLI days, September, October, and December, and we've removed those from the calendar so that we wouldn't have any early dismissals because of that. We've kept them on for winter, but we'll reassess.
And so,
Can someone be clear about what TLI stands for? We had someone ask that.
So the Teaching Learning Initiative days,
Thank you.
those are the days we've used for professional development
early release.
and early release. And so we've foregone those so that we can really get our kids in here and, pay attention to the instruction and assessment we need to do.
And the teachers will have a good portion of Wednesdays for their professional development as well and collaboration. So we didn't think that we certainly didn't want to have an early release day right when the school year started. So that's the calendar. It runs through, and so we're hoping, planning that the last day of school will be June 15th. There's a lot of discussion around the state that if there was a need for a snow day, for example, we could simply shift to online learning and not have any problems at all on that front. So the more we learn about distance learning, the more advantages we actually see. It's clearly it's not as effective as in person for everybody, but there are some advantages.
Gretchen?
Oh, yeah. On snow days, we have that tricky little thing called power.
Right.
So just some kids are going to get smacked, some kids won't. So
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with moving forward. Just we
Yeah.
need to be aware that some kids are going to be sitting in the dark, literally.
I think if we had a situation where a sizable portion, even not a huge portion, but a sizable portion of our children were unable to do the distance learning that day, we would, in fact, probably declare that a snow emergency day, and we would make it up at the end of the year.
Sounds good.
Liz?
Dr.
Can-
Mayor, I'm concerned
Can't hear
about
her.
Can you hear me now?
Nope.
A little bit. I think your mic needs to be maybe closer to your mouth.
Can you hear me now?
Half and half.
All right, how about if I talk loud? Okay. Is that better? Dr. Greener, I'm concerned about Dr. Greener, I'm concerned about
The sound.
the AP and
You know what?
testing
Time out. There's about a 3-second delay and people can't really hear. Why don't you just ask your question and I'll repeat it? Just don't even say it into the mic.
I'll turn my mic off.
Mute yourself on the computer.
I'm concerned about the testing that the AP kids are taking and the IB kids are taking in May. They're getting a delayed start. Is there consideration about maybe doing, getting ready for the April vacation so that they can catch up? It's just, I'm just throwing it out there, something out there.
I think we're going to have to talk to the AP people and the IB people. I think this is a nationwide problem, and
Right.
I'll get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Are there other questions on the calendar? Okay, so the thing that was mentioned today, Dr. Grenier, that is new is that we're adding the 4 days for kindergarten
Correct.
testing. Is that correct?
We normally have 2, but we're going to use 4 this year.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. And so no questions? Then let's move us on to the Groton Middle School opening.
Well, I hope, if I could stop. Who does this? I guess I do it, huh?
Yes.
I am going to introduce my friend and colleague and extremely hardworking middle school principal, Mr. Peter Bass, who is about to open a brand new 4-story, 1,000 student middle school and has worked unbelievably hard all summer long to get this building up and running. And it's really quite remarkable, but we'd appreciate a kind of an update, Mr. Bass.
My pleasure. Good evening, everyone. So I want to give you an update on a few fronts with regard to our brand new building, our school, Groton Middle School. First, the construction of the building, we finally hit that stretch run, I believe. We reached the final stages. And in talking with Tammy Hamlin, the project manager from Arcadis, she has reported that they're in the process now of going through the inspections. There are a variety of inspections that need to take place. Some have taken place already. For example, planning and zoning signed off on the building last week. A third-party building inspector contractor review went well today, and then the fire marshal's in tomorrow. If everything goes well with the fire marshal tomorrow, we'll be on schedule to begin unpacking for teachers. I know Tom Beebe from Arcadis oversaw the moving of the boxes, the 25 tractor trailer trucks or so worth of boxes from the other side of the state back to Groton, and has, I believe, successfully unpacked the majority of those boxes in the 4th floor to be ready for teachers to come in, starting on the 4th floor and working our way down. So that's going to allow a couple things to happen. First, the construction overall is most complete at the top of the building. And as you work down the 3rd, 2nd, 1st floor, they're in various stages of finishing up the work that needs to be done. So we're hoping to hear good news from the fire marshal tomorrow and Tammy, and be able to move teachers into place to start unpacking as soon as Wednesday. During that time, Sam Kilpatrick and his staff will be taking care of the cleaning throughout the unpacking process. And we're hoping that it doesn't go any later this, but the target at this point for the first floor folks that they can impact, including school counseling, first floor administration secretaries, looks to be August 27th, hoping to be somewhat online and functional in our office spaces by the 28th. But prior to the kids coming back on September 8th, the professional deep cleaning and disinfecting will take place. All the ductwork for the HVAC system will be professionally cleaned before the kids arrive. In addition, in speaking with Tammy last Thursday, she is taking one more look at reviewing the specifications for the HVAC system to ensure that they meet the State Department of Health guidelines for schools, which is a really important piece. Regarding the planning of the return of students to school, we're continuing work, albeit remotely, on the specific health and safety plans for our new school. I'm very appreciative of the parents who participated in the GMS reopening parent focus group meetings. And as well as to those parents, and there were several who were willing to spend the time with us if we needed them. We had a great outpouring of interested parents. That was fantastic. The discussions were extremely helpful in guiding our work in preparation for the return of students to school. Our plans will reflect, as they will across the district, the universal use of masks for students and staff, social distancing, hand washing, optimal use of the HVAC system, and frequent cleaning of high-touch surfaces. And we plan to reconvene the parent focus group later this week to share health and safety details of our plan. Prior to that happening, there will be a staff reopening team which will review the draft of the plan, hopefully on Wednesday, in preparation for the full rollout. I'm hoping by Friday, no later than Monday morning, to all parents with regard to this. We're also in the process of working with Dennis's IT staff to get the GMS website updated so that it can be more highly functional and a dynamic piece of our communication with parents and community. And, once construction is complete, we are looking forward to getting in and taking some in-depth video recording to make a relevant virtual orientation for parents and students. We also hope to be able to conduct some small group tours for those students who may need extra support in their transition. And I'm hoping we can begin doing some of those as soon as August 31st. But I'll tell you, I think, with the calendar changes that the board has accepted, and with starting school on September 8th, I think we're very, very fortunate to have that time with the opening of this school, because this will not only allow us to conduct the necessary professional development for teachers and staff regarding the safety protocols and for training in hybrid and distance learning, but should also allow us the necessary time for the setup of classrooms and for to put together personalized, meaningful orientation activities and videos for students, put those in place, because we really want those to be top notch for our kids. And we're in a special circumstance. We're all in a special circumstance this year with regard to preparing for opening of schools in light of the pandemic. But in a typical year, even with the pandemic, we'd be taking a look at, what can we do for our incoming sixth grade class? This year is extraordinary for us in the sense that this building is not only new to our staff, but to all of our students. So we recognize that as being a special challenge, and hope to be afforded the time in the building to make sure it's a really spectacular orientation as best as it can be. But I'll tell you, even if we're delayed by a few more days, I know that the GMS staff will rise to the occasion, and we will get personalized orientation stuff out from our teams and our teachers. It doesn't necessarily have to be present on site at GMS. So that's it in a nutshell for now. And I just want to thank, I want to thank Central Office Administration and the board for your support. The Central Office Administration has been phenomenal. Susan, with her leadership on the summer curricular work and the schedule. I tell you, without that, I don't know where we'd be at this point. So big thank you goes out to all of you.
Thank you, Peter. Is there questions for Peter about the middle school? Or any other comments? Sorry, guys, I'm also scrolling to make sure I don't miss anyone. All right. So the one thing I do want to say is that this is our first run, our maiden voyage of trying to do both in-person and online meetings. So it's very glitchy. And for that, we apologize, but I guess this is all part of being
Learning curve.
the learning curve that we need to do. So am I hearing anyone else? Okay, if not, we're going to move on to the next item, which is the health and safety. Dr. Groton.
Well, I have a couple of folks that are going to talk about health and safety. First one is Leah Hendricks, who is our supervisor of school nurses. And I know Leah is here, and if we could get her to be in the speaker view, that would be nice. And if you would unmute Leah. There you go. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
We can't hear her. I can't hear anybody. Well,
Yeah.
who's speaking? I don't know who's speaking.
Leah, can you hear me? This is Mike
Now I
Grenier.
can, yes.
What we're looking at is addendum 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're showing that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So no, you don't see that?
I can't get anything up on my screen for some reason, and then every once in a while it pops up.
I can see him.
And it keeps kicking me out of the meeting and then putting me back in silent mode.
Oh, boy. Well, you know what? Let's talk about this offline,
Okay.
Rosemary. And we're gonna, like Kim said, this is our maiden voyage, and we're hitting the normal bumps in the road. But can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. All right. So Leah, go ahead. We're looking at the addendum 5.
Okay. Addendum 5 was put out recently by the state of Connecticut to give the school nurses and everyone actually some guidance on how to handle the students and staff that present to the school or to the health room with symptoms of COVID-19. And you'll see are you able to see page 2 up there right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. You'll see that the way that the state marked it out is they're saying, okay, someone presents to the health room with symptoms of COVID, but they have not had close contact with someone who has recently been diagnosed with COVID. And then it gives you all the scenarios, like what to tell them to do. And then if they get tested and it's negative, positive, if they don't get tested, we still have the decision tree on how we treat those folks. Now, if you go to the next page, page 3, which looks a lot like page 2, but what this is the individual, the student or the staff, they have COVID-19 symptoms and they did have close contact to a person that has had COVID. So then once again, it tells you if they're at home, if they're at school, even if they're on the bus, that's written on there. What do you do with these folks? You know, how do we send them home? How do we do all this? And it's all written out in there. And then once again, if they get tested, what the test results are, and if they do not get tested, how we treat that. So then the next page is page 4, this is when a student or staff member does not have symptoms at all, but comes in close contact to someone who was diagnosed with COVID. Now, that could be someone who feels fine, but a family member has it, or maybe it's going to be someone in the classroom that they were, we don't know. It's just, this is trying to cover all the bases of the type of situations we can meet up with. So once again, what those folks have to do and what we do if they test negative, positive, or don't get tested at all. So this is a guideline to pretty much how we will handle situations in the school and on the bus as far as people that show signs of COVID. So do you have questions? I'm sure you have. Oh, let's do page 5 first. What I want to point out is that it's very important is number 1 end note, where it says about the key COVID-19 symptoms. So we'll talk about that a little bit because there are a lot of COVID symptoms ranging from the fever, the cough that you may have heard about, and all the way down to fatigue and nausea and vomiting and even a runny nose. Well, there are classic symptoms, especially in children, that we will look for. The school nurses will look for these symptoms to see if they fall into the category of actually possibly having COVID-19, and that is they feel feverish and their temperature is 100.4 or more, chills, uncontrolled new cough. So, that helps us with students. We have to watch students with asthma or students that have allergies they could maybe normally cough. Shortness of breath and the difficulty breathing. Loss of taste or smell. They're the classic symptoms in children especially. And then there are other symptoms, but they're the ones that we're going to focus on so that we don't have every child in school sitting in that isolation room, which is easy to do because kids get sick very easily. Close contact, you can see that number 2, it says that's when you spend at least 15 minutes within 6 feet of a person that was ultimately confirmed with COVID, or if you have a direct exposure to their droplets, such as, if they cough or sneeze on somebody. Let's see, contact tracing, number 4, I'd like to mention that. A lot of people have questions about contact tracing and how it will be done. If there's a positive COVID case in the school, there's a process for contacting the Ledgelight Health District, and they will take over the contact tracing. School nurses and health aides, we have a log of who's in the health room at what time. And I have a log for the isolation room where the sick children will go. And I'm going to be giving that to all my nurses so that we'll be able to know who is where in the health room should we have to find out who was nearby. So there, now do you have questions? I'm sorry.
Well, if this chart is not up on the website, we'll make sure it's up tomorrow. This last page, actually the end notes, I found very helpful. The Department of Public Health has been working with us, and I know this chart it gives the nurses a really good direction. And so we will, this is one of our health measures, I think of it as a kind of the primary medical indicator. And then I'm going to ask Denise Doolittle to talk about some of the other mitigation strategies we're using. But I'd be happy to have other questions, Kim, for Leah.
So I know I've got Gretchen and I have Liz. So go ahead, Gretchen.
All right, so starting with, my kid who had to send his fit to college to be allowed back on campus. So they'll be running COVID tests on the entire campus every week or two, I think every week. My son's upset about the cost. If we think somebody's positive, we test them? If we're 99% sure, do we have the ability in school to test them and then send that out?
We do not, but no schools do, however, at this point, that I know of. However, that's where Ledgelight will come in, and they will determine, help us all determine of who needs to get tested at that point. They're going to be a very valuable resource, and the nurses and I work very closely with them
Right.
throughout the year. So even during non-COVID times. So, they'll
Children,
definitely
children
take
who are identified as needing a test will direct the family to get the test immediately.
All right. I was just wondering, since we had the medical center, the town medical center there, if that would be something that,
Not for testing purposes. Is it, what do they call it? The CDC, Leah? Community something center?
Oh, the community health center?
CHC.
CHC, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of places that will now do a test. Some people will go to CVS or one of the pharmacies.
Okay.
Do them over at L&M, and Hartford Health has them as well.
Okay. Right.
Got two.
Liz. Hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay, first of all, how are you gonna do
Okay,
contact?
first of
Wait.
all, how are you gonna do?
There's like a 3-second delay. It's all messed up. Mute yourself. Yeah, mute yourself, and then I'll just repeat it.
How are you doing contact tracing in the high school and the middle school that have changing classes all through the building?
Yeah. Well, the contact tracing, clearly, the question is, how do we do contact tracing at the secondary level, where cohorting, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, is not nearly as effective as the elementary school. I think the answer is we will do, we know the children who are in classes with those individuals, and that would be, maybe I should let you answer it, but I think we will just do as much reasonable tracing of the context of those children as possible. But you're right, it's a big school, and we will probably have about 350 students every day in that school. Well, 4 days a week.
Okay, my other question deals with.
Say something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Leah.
I just wanted to say that's why it's very important to maintain the mask and the social distancing and throughout the day, because if people keep their distance from 6 feet away, it very well may not even be considered a contact at that point. Contacts are usually within 6 feet for about 15 minutes, and they rip their mask off. It's going to be hard because they are kids, and they're, as you know, they're immortal at this age. But it's going to be very important to enforce that.
Good point.
Okay, my last question deals with band and PE classes. Can you give me an update or give us an update about how those are going to evolve?
The question is,
band?
where's the echo? Do we know? You don't know. Okay. Can you mute yourself, maybe?
I'm muted.
Oh, you mute? God. Okay. Okay. The Music Association, through the State Department of Education, has promulgated guidelines for music, singing, band, so forth. And I know, for example, at the high school, the band attends often outside, but in the cafeteria, 12 feet apart. I believe the choral program will rehearse in the auditorium, very far spread out, and we'll make sure that those social distances are maintained. The outside, the possibility of outside classrooms, especially for classes like music, especially with the wind instruments, that's going to be critical. So we're trying to achieve that as much as possible.
And PE?
Oh, PE, almost always outside.
For a couple months.
For a couple of months, yes.
Okay.
And after that, in the classroom, will have to be nutrition and anatomy and that sort of thing. Welcome.
Lee,
Lee?
I'm sorry, I can't.
do you have a question?
Yes, it's not a question. Big echo. Yale has a new saliva test.
Yes.
The FDA, it's going to be available. It's going to taste about $10, be done in a matter of hours.
No,
It's done.
no swabbing of the nose, just a saliva test.
No.
I think Gretchen referred to that. That's what I know. A lot of colleges, the NBA actually funded the research on this. That's what they're doing for the National Basketball Association players. Yeah, that's going to be a huge, fast, and relatively easy to do. So unless there are any other questions for Leah, I'd like to introduce Denise. And Denise is going to talk a little bit about, thank you, Leah. She's going to talk a little bit about I'll give you the big picture. We have 5 major mitigation strategies, and Denise is going to talk about the first 2, which are mask wearing and hand washing.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank Leah because she's been working really closely with me throughout this, and she's been a great partner and always accessible and has a lot of wonderful information. So thank you, Leah, for all you've done and for being here tonight. I just wanted to start by saying that Dr. Grenier, Susan, and I, and Leah have been participating in weekly webinars with the DPH, the Department of Public Health, and the State Department of Education, and they've been extremely helpful. Tomorrow is our 3rd one, and we're expecting for another CSDE addendum specifically on masks. And Dennis Cochlea has worked with us to post all of the 7 addendums on the district website so parents have access to them as soon as we do. So as soon as the mask addendum comes out, we will share that. But just to give some talking points, summary on the masks, masks, as everyone knows, are recommended. They're a simple barrier to help prevent the respiratory droplets from traveling into the air and onto other people when the person wearing the mask coughs, talks, sneezes, or raises their voice. This is recommended to reduce the spread of COVID-19. We have ordered a supply of masks that will be available, both the 2-ply cotton masks and the surgical masks. We will have masks available on the bus for students who don't come onto the bus with them, and we'll also have them available in the buildings in case any of the masks break or get soiled during the day. A few masks we're going to communicate to parents and staff that because they're not recommended. One is a mask with a one-way valve or vent. Those masks allow exhaled air to be expelled out through the holes. So they keep the person wearing the valve mask safe, but not necessarily the person around them. The next type of mask that is not highly recommended for use in schools is a neck gaiter. The neck gaiter has a thin material that's very comfortable and easy to use because it's very breathable, but it allows quite a bit of respiratory droplets to pass through the material because it is so thin. So that is not recommended in schools. All staff and students will be required to wear a mask except for individuals with a verifiable medical condition. Masks are not required for preschool students, but they are recommended if the child can tolerate wearing one. The CDC actually recommends that children 2 years and older wear a mask. So if parents send children in with one, we will allow them to wear them. Let's see, the last thing, the FAQs that were just recently issued by the State Department of Ed really stress the importance of educating students and parents on the mitigating measures of the masks, rather than focusing on any disciplinary consequences for students who don't wear them or who take them off frequently. So we'll be working with teachers around those areas. And then we will be lastly developing a protocol for what's called mask breaks. We recognize that going for 6-7 hours a day wearing a mask is going to be difficult for people. It's not something any of us have ever had to do before. The DPH recommends that mask breaks be built into the classroom and school schedule and preferably done outside in fresh air. If the weather does not permit the mask break to be done outside, we will recommend that it be done in a space that can allow for adequate social distancing. And then lastly, the mask breaks will also occur in the classroom for short periods of time when children are eating. Does anyone have any questions before I go on to hand washing?
Can you hear me, Denise?
Yeah.
The one thing that one of the epidemiologists said at our Tuesday meeting was that the summertime is a great opportunity for parents to allow their children to try on masks. I think many of the adults have gone through 2, 3, 4 masks, and some of them seem to fit our needs better than others. So I would just recommend that parents take advantage of the next 3 weeks or so to allow children to try different types of masks. But basically, as you say, that two-ply cotton masks are really the best. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to hand washing. So hand hygiene is a term that's used to cover both hand washing using soap and water and cleaning with alcohol-based sanitizers. Why do we want staff and students to wash their hands? First of all, hands are the most exposed part of the body to germs, and touching the eyes, mouth, nose, or food transfers germs into the body. Secondly, hand washing prevents the spread of germs, and hand washing is the single most important means of preventing the spread of infection. And that's from the CDC. It's in our staff training PowerPoint. So again, we'll be focusing on the fact that the purpose of washing your hands frequently is to stop germs, because this is a common way germs are spread. We have posters that we've been handing out to the buildings. One is called 5 Common Ways Germs Are Spread. We'll be working very closely with some of our paras who work with personal care to be sure that they have gloves, face mask, and a face shield, because we know that working with individuals on personal care tasks exposes them to germs. And we want them to practice good hand washing, as well as the other measures we've been talking about. Germs are tough. We've learned from a yet to be published study conducted by scientists at the CDC, NIH, and other institutions that the novel coronavirus can live for up to 2 to 3 days on plastic and stainless steel surfaces. So it's especially important to disinfect high-touch surfaces every day. This includes doorknobs, handles, tables, countertops, keyboards, and light switches. And Sam and his crew have provided cleaning material and soft wipes in every room in all the buildings, so this can be done. The virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person, and this can happen between people who are in close contact with one another. So we want to be sure that people are practicing good hand washing to stay safe. We do have a training module along with videos from the CDC for students and staff. There are 5 steps to washing your hands. We all know it's important to scrub your hands for at least 20 seconds and without a timer, to hum the happy birthday song from beginning to end twice, just as one step. And then lastly, just to wrap up, we will remind teachers and staff and students about the use of hand sanitizer if they're unable to have access to soap and water. And we will have hand sanitizer available in the building. And we will encourage teachers to practice hand washing with their classrooms so that all students understand the 5 steps of hand washing and how important it is to wash their hands frequently. Are there any questions?
I would just add that we are hiring 10 part-time custodians, and they will be cleaning the schools continuously, the high-touch areas and the bathrooms throughout the entire day. So between that and the hand washing and the masks, we think we've got two of the really big areas. Thank you, Denise. But I'll
Thank you.
stop for questions, Kim.
Leah, did you want to add anything? No? Okay.
So I mentioned there were 5 mitigation strategies. Masks, according to the epidemiologists, are absolutely number 1. Denise just explained the extreme importance of soap and warm water, washing of hands. Then we have the third one is social distancing. And as I said, with PE classes, music classes, and of course the classrooms themselves, we will be able to, we believe, in virtually all cases, maintain a 6-foot distance between teachers and students and students and students. That's the third mitigation strategy. The fourth one is we are working with our heating and ventilation system engineering firm, Fussin O'Neill, and we are having all of our ventilation systems recommissioned, meaning that we're going to check them to be sure that they're operating as designed at maximum capacity. And then lastly, we are going to, of course, because of the hybrid model, we are going to cohort, which means that the elementary school, it works extremely well. There will be probably 6, 7, 8 children in a class with a teacher, and the key of cohorting is that if there is an incident of COVID, we would fairly quickly be able to identify and do contact tracing of that group. At the middle school, the children won't be cohort quite the same way, but they will be cohorted by teams. We received the results today. About 75% of the kids will be coming in on the hybrid model. So that means there'll be about 35 to 40% of the kids on Monday and Tuesday, and another 35 or so % kids on Thursday and Friday. So that will mean, of course, that the class will be reduced down to about 37%. Another 25% will be home. They will continue their distance learning at home. And so the teams at the middle school will be cohorted. We will have children who won't go to the cafeteria. They won't go to the gym for physical education. And at the high school, we are going to, again, we have about 350 students in the high school at any one time on the 3 floors and then in the old wing. And so we have established traffic patterns. Students will pick up their lunches from kiosks. They won't be going to the cafeteria. And I think what they're going to do is make sure that the 9th grade class changes classes perhaps a few minutes before the end of the period, and the 10th grade at a slightly different time, 11th grade and 12th grade. Again, it's not perfect, far from perfect compared to the elementary, but it gives us an opportunity to limit wherever we can. We're trying to limit the contact between children to just to one cohort. So those are the big 5, and we're going to have some focus groups this week. The 5 being masks, hand washing, ventilation system, social distancing, and cohorting. So with hopefully those 5 will see us through, and we'll be able to sustain our distance learning program through the hybrid model. And that's and I'm be happy to answer questions, Kim.
I think Kimberly Brillick had a question.
I'm sorry. Who?
The reporter. I don't know if she has a question or she just sort of popped up.
Yeah, I just popped up. Thank you.
She just popped up.
I just joined. Thank you. Sorry.
No, no problem. It's not. The computer has a proclivity towards reporters.
Is there any questions from board members? All right.
Kim, could I just add one more thing?
Absolutely, Denise.
Dr. Grenier, did you want to talk briefly about the fact that we implemented these mitigating practices during the summer and programs were really successful?
Yeah, please share a little bit.
Oh, sure. So we just wanted to share with everyone that we had a bit of a trial run this summer with both the special education in-person program at SB Butler. We had about 35 students. And we also had the middle school and high school summer school program that Adam coordinated at the high school. And we just wanted to share with everyone that we did not have any incidences where students or staff were diagnosed or tested positive for COVID-19. So we really feel pleased that we had a successful summer and that the kids were really happy to be back, and the teachers did a wonderful job. They took the training very seriously, asked a lot of questions, and worked really hard to have a great summer. So our little summer school experiment really worked on a small scale, implementing these measures. And a lot of the measures we're going to continue through for the new school year. So it was a really good learning experience.
Yeah, we had experience with masks, with face shields, the whole gamut, and these were challenging. We know it's a big challenge for some of the children who attended our summer school, and at the secondary school as well. And Susan and I observed classes, and children were properly wearing masks and socially distancing. So we think we've had some pretty good experience this summer, and with your program, you're right, it was excellent experience. So I think that's it for our safety protocols, and we're ready for Ken if you are.
So without further ado.
Hi, everybody. So as usual, I have a spreadsheet that I'm going to share, but Dr. Grenier and I tried to put together what we thought the additional expenses that we were going to incur this year in regards to COVID-19. Let me see, where's the schedule? Here it is. And all right, here's the schedule. Did everyone see that one? So a couple of things. We are recommending that we get a social worker for the 3 elementary schools that don't currently have a social worker on staff to help with the staff in helping the students get through what we need to get through this year. So that's 75,000. We are also recommending 75,000 for curriculum or instruction planning for reentry, which we're actually doing right now, or Susan's group is doing right now. So that's another 75,000. Then substitute teaching. We're estimating that we may need 40 substitutes to take over for teachers that may be out for different COVID-19 related reasons. And so there's a rate for the first 40 days and then a different rate for the rest of the year. That's why you'll see 2 bits there for substitute teachers. We're also anticipating that some paras probably may not be able to come back for health related reasons. And then we're also anticipating some extra custodial help, the 10 custodians that Dr. Grenier mentioned at each of the schools. And food service did lose some revenue over the past spring, and so we're anticipating needing to refund some of that. So for salaries and benefits, we're thinking it's going to be an additional cost to this year. This isn't last year, this is this year of $2.3 million. And then as far as supplies, we've ordered desk shields for all of the elementary and many of the secondary schools. We do have a good supply of PPE, such as masks and gowns and gloves and hand sanitizer, but we do anticipate we may need more, so additional 40,000 there. And then we are building toolkits currently to send home with the students so that they'll have the supplies they need when they are on a distance learning. And so it's we're spending approximately 5,000 for each of the elementary and then 10,000 each for the middle and high school. So our total anticipated additional costs is going to be somewhere in the $2.4 to $2.5 million range. You know, assuming that these all come out like this, we'll try to keep it as low as possible, but depending on the number of substitutes we need, which is probably going to be the main driver. We do have some funds coming in to offset against that. The CARES Act, we do have, Groton was allocated $686,000. There is an amount that needs to be allocated to Sacred Heart, so approximately $666,000 can be used to offset that $2.4 million. So at this point, based on a very preliminary look, we could be looking at a shortfall of somewhere in the $1.8 million range.
I hesitate to say this is a worst case scenario, but you know, we said that we would have substitutes for 180 days. You know, hopefully that won't be true. That things will clear up and things will be better. And we also know that in addition to the CARES Act money that's already been received, we're about to put in a budget for the Senate is currently, well, they were last week. I think they've stopped the negotiations, at least temporarily, talking about providing funds for school districts and for municipalities. And so this is, of course, our hope that if the pandemic continues and we would need significant substitute teacher coverage, this would be the money. So 1.8 million, as I've said, we realize is a huge burden for a municipality, and we will do. You know, there will be some offsets, which we will pursue as well as we possibly can. But I just thought it was important to let the public know that this could be, of course, a really significant, and it's really the personnel. We think we're okay with personal protective equipment and so forth, but I think Ken has kind of laid out a scenario here that perhaps will become significantly better. Well, it would become significantly better if we're able to have the teachers and the students come back in. Or actually, I hate to say it, but it gets significantly better if it was all remote. Then we wouldn't need the substitutes in that way. So one way or the other, we think this is a kind of a maybe not a worst case scenario, but a pretty bad scenario. And I just wanted to be clear with the public that this is what we're thinking. So thanks, Ken.
You're welcome.
Dr. Gardner, does this mean that that this shortfall, if it was to come into fruition, is largely based on if it was a hybrid or all-in models?
It's based on, actually it's based on if it's a hybrid.
Okay.
If we continue the hybrid all year, then that probably would require significant substitute coverage. If it's either of the others, then that number would be greatly reduced. The need for substitute teachers would be greatly reduced.
One second, Liz, I just want to make sure that there's not other people that have not. All right, Liz.
Dr. Grenier, you got any preliminary numbers of teachers that have said that they are uncomfortable coming back? And,
We have. We actually, Susan and I and Lori Lapine met today. We have about 80 individuals, some teachers and some paraprofessionals, many of whom requested additional PPE. Some people have suggested they could come in for one cohort, but maybe not the other cohort. So we're starting to think about combining teachers, like job sharing, which again would not be quite as costly as a pure substitute. But there are a number of people who have pre-existing conditions. We have a number of young mothers to be, and we're of course going to honor their request to not be in the schools, at least for a reasonable period of time until they have their child. But it was I would say I was pleasantly surprised. I thought there would be more individuals, and I think it's pretty manageable, actually.
And one last question. When this all first started, we were talking about who has the responsibility to say, all right, we've reached a spike and we're going to close school. Is that the superintendent?
Yeah, I'll repeat the question. If we have an outbreak of COVID, the question is, who would make the decision to close a class, a school, or a district? And I think the answer is the superintendent in consultation with a local health district. So Ledgelight Health District would be a major player in that decision. And I would consult with Steve Mansfield, and the Department of Public Health isn't giving out those sorts of metrics, like 5 children or 10%. Or I think we're going to have to use our best judgment.
That's what I was hoping, because when we closed, of course, it was came down from the state and
Yes.
boom, closed. Now I'm wondering how much autonomy each school district has in determining those states.
I'd say 100% autonomy. Unless there's a major spike across, I could see the governor if there was a major outbreak. But at this point, I do not believe he has plans for that. It's up to the superintendent and the local health district.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions around that? All right, hearing none, let's move on to the update on the parent focus groups.
Well, I just wanted to I've explained a little bit about what we're trying to do. I've asked the principals, and they've identified focus groups, and actually a number of people have joined the focus groups. They've expanded a bit. But this week, from starting tomorrow on, the focus group, we provide questions for the focus group. And this week it's going to be feedback on the addendum 5 that you just saw and the 5 mitigation strategies. Next week, we're going to start talking about the distance learning and how the distance learning will be conducted. But I've already went over the 5 mitigation strategies, so that's essentially what we're going to talk about. I think Lee has a question.
Oh, yes, please.
When Bob Brader talked to us, he was said 10 to 15 people in the focus group. Is that where we are?
Yes.
Good, excellent.
Any other questions?
Mike,
Yes.
I have one more quick. DEI, how is that going into these plans? How are we working with the diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Yeah.
Are we including that in our reopening?
Well, oh, yes, very much so. The question is, are we including the work of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee? I know that because I've spoken to Mr. Davis, they are going to have a general meeting of the 8 subcommittees on the 26th of August, and then they will be reporting out to the board on the one of the COWs in September. But yes, we continue both in our employment, looking at our policies and making sure student voices are heard and so forth. That will continue throughout the year.
Liz, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Any other further questions? All right, we're getting down to the review of the referral list. Did people have things that they wanted to take away?
Kim,
Can you hear?
Kim, it's Andrea.
Oh, Andrea, yes.
Can you hear?
I think we can take away the more robust summer school funding. I think we've done that.
Can you Kim, through your microphone?
Where is that?
It's the second one down.
Second one down. So you're saying that you felt that that was answered?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Jones, did you get that? Anything else? If not,
Excuse me. I'm looking at the first one under COW, investigation of racial bias. In many ways, I think the DEI committee has taken that on and will continue to take it on.
so can we move that to ongoing?
Yes.
I think we can. In other words, it's not going to be a retreat thing. It's going to be an ongoing.
Maybe can we make reference to the fact that it's
Yeah,
it's embedded in the DEI?
DEI work plan.
Liz?
What about, I know that we were talking about last time about making a statement or rewriting our mission statement to include a diversity element, or however we want to look at it. There were 4 board members who did volunteer for that. Does that belong someplace on here?
No.
Okay.
We are
I
working.
didn't know.
Good question, but no. Don't mean to be so blunt. No, that's a really good question. But no, it's a ad hoc.
Oh.
And it came out of an agenda topic, and we put it right into an ad hoc, so it wouldn't go onto the referral list.
Okay.
Usually referral lists are, when we get an agenda item, we make it just, when that referral item comes, does it go to finance and facilities? Does it go to committee of the whole? Does it go to curriculum? It gets put then at that point on the referral list. So it's like a tracking device for us.
Kim, I'd say the last one, Sam has already reported out. The
Okay.
memorials, we got a good handle on that.
So we're removing it?
Well, I would recommend that, yes.
Is it out where it is going? I mean, is the information out to people?
Yeah,
where
we contacted the families. None of the memorials are being destroyed or anything. Sam is either giving it to the family or removing it to the new middle school.
Kim?
Yes, Andrea.
This wasn't a memorial, but it was the tree at Westside that was planted from the Connecticut Charter Oak. Is there any word on that?
Yeah, we're working on it. As they demolish the building, we're working around the tree And well, actually, Sam is here. You want to talk about that, Sam?
Yes, there are actually two trees in there, Dr. Ackerman. There is the charter oak offspring, which is a tree about 10 inches around. So it's not a small sapling by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very large tree. And in order to get that tree out of there, it's going to take a very large piece of equipment. So they're knocking down that part of the building, and then they will have the contractor come in and determine whether that tree can be moved because of its size. There is also a dogwood near that same tree that was planted in memorial to another longtime employee at the West Side Middle School. So those two trees are marked to not be cut down, and it'll be determined at a later date by the contractor as to how, if we can move them. Hopefully we'll be able to leave them on the site somewhere, but if not, then we'll move them maybe to the central office or somewhere else.
Is there a way to take a branch or something and root it and plant it if we can't save them?
I spent quite a bit of time on my hands and knees looking for an acorn from that tree. And I think the damn squirrels and chipmunks got every acorn that was on the ground there. I could not find one. I spent an hour and a half looking around for an acorn. I couldn't find one, but
have looked from my yard. Sorry.
And the rest of the memorials that aren't going back to the family, actually the financing or the facilities committee or the board will make that determination as to where they go, because there have been a couple of suggestions as where those other memorials might go.
So then it needs to.
Well, they won't. The point is they won't be destroyed. We'll continue to come back.
Where's Andrea?
All right,
I'm waiting for Dr. Ackerman.
wait.
I am too.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, we have another agenda item, which
Oh,
is.
sorry.
Which is, are there agenda items that we want to add?
Well, I don't know if you need to add them, but I fully intend to make a report on the distance learning. Susan's group has done a terrific job on all the curriculum. And the next thing that we need to do is explain to everyone how we're actually going to conduct this hybrid learning, which is really essentially a blending of distance learning for all of the children, at least part of the week.
Is it time?
Is there
Now?
another agenda topic?
Well then,
I think it is.
motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? I have questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Oppose, abstain, motion has carried.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Good going.
We see each other tomorrow. Kim? I'll send you a text.